Hello everyone, my name is Medora and today we are taking a look at the Duel Master Adamancipators deck. And before we get into it, remember to subscribe and hit that like button because I bring you videos every day from now on. Took a little bit of a break, but we're back. So, Adamancipators. What can I say about them? They are a rock, earth archetype, and I will go through the deck with you card by card. So let's start. First up, we have the Adamancipators cards, Survivor Researcher, we have Seeker, and we have Analyzer. And what they do is that they have each one effect in common, and that is that you can excavate. That means look at the top card of your library and a number. So it says you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. So you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then what happens? Well, we shall see. And if you do, you can special summon one excavated level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster. So they get a level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster for free. Very good. And they are tuners themselves, so they can synchro with the monster you special summon. Very good. The advantage, simple. And they also have a secondary effect, which are a little bit different, but they all special summons themselves in some way. So for Researcher, this is your best card. She can special summon herself if you control a rock monster except herself. So if you have a rock monster field, special summon her from your hand. Adamancipator Seeker special summons himself if you have another Adamancipator on the field, and this can be a tuner, or it can be one of the synchro monsters. Super good. These three, and of course Analyzer. He special summons himself if your opponent controls a monster and you don't. He's a Cyber Dragon. Oh. These three are your core card. These are your best cards. So we play 3 of each. Right. And now that we established what we wanna, our core here, our best cards, what do we want to do later? Well, we have rock monsters, which are non-tuners of course. So then we have Quacky Meru Supplier. And this is just a little bit of neat card, because if you are synchro summoning with your Adamancipators and they are sent to the graveyard, that means since a rock monster was sent to the graveyard you control, you get to special summon this card from your hand. Nice! So you get to synchro and then you immediately get to summon him. Really good. Really nice. But that's not all. If you special summon him, not just by his own effect, if he's just special summoned, you can add to your deck you can add one Quacky Meru card or one that specifically lists one Iron Core. So in this deck, what that means is you can summon Quacky Meru Guardian. And Quacky Meru Guardian is a 1900 lead stick, high attack. Nice. That's relevant. That's nothing to scoff at. And if the opponent activates a monster effect, you can tribute him to negate that effect. Of course. And that's super good. Of course, because there are cards like hand traps, like Nibiru, which are wrecking your day when you're playing Adamancipators. So this is your safety blanket. If you have this out, your combos are safe. You can search with your Adamancipator, you can do all of your other monster effects because you have protection. That's pretty neat. There's also another thing, which is you have to have a rock monster or Quacky Meru card in your hand at the end, your end phase. Otherwise he gets destroyed. That's also relevant because we have a Litany card which protects him, which we're gonna talk about later. Don't you worry. So, and then we have Adamancipator Crystal, which is a water monster, a rock, which is, it's one of the weak cards, but if you summon it with one of the Adamancipators, you get to draw a card. So that's neat. Then we also have Doki Doki, which is just a level 2 rock, and you can discard a card from your hand. Then you can special summon one monster at the same original attribute and level as that monster. So let's say you then have a Quacky Mirror Guardian in your hand and you use Doki Doki. Then you discard Mirror Guardian and you can summon another tuner, Adamancipator, like Analyzer for example. Or you can summon Supplier, what you want. So that's really good. Because in this deck we will not only want to summon from the deck and from our hand, we also want to use our graveyard as a resource, which we'll come to a bit later. Here. Nice. Then we have the Pranking engine. So it's Pranky Roxys and Pranksys Dropsys. We only play 2 of Roxys, because there's not enough space in the deck. And this version of the deck doesn't really utilize the Pranky's engine that much. So this is just a neat little way to get rocks in the graveyard. See. Of course, 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossoms. Super good staples. You want them. Really good. Then we have, this is a good card as a one-off, Rock Band Xeno Guitar. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target 1 rock monster in graveyard except Rock Band Xeno Guitar. Add it to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand on top of the deck. So you switch, basically. You switch 1 card from your graveyard with 1 on your hand, which goes to the top of your library. Pretty neat, but that's not why we use him. Because he has an effect in the graveyard. If this card is banished from the field or graveyard, it's going to be on from the graveyard most of the time. So that's why we're saying that. You can send 1 rock monster deck to the graveyard. This is a super good way to get Block Dragon in the graveyard. And why is that? Block Dragon is the single most important card in your deck except Adamancipators. This is the glue which makes your tips your deck over the top. So let's look at it. What does he do? Can be normal summon set. Must be special summoned by banishing 3 Earth monster from your hand or graveyard. So you understand? So now we have used our Adamancipate effect, we have synchro summoned a lot, and we are banishing the cards from graveyard to special summon is really good. And then we special summon him, and then we can link or synchro with him. Really good. And then, but there's more. So if you then send him to the graveyard, for example by link summoning, you can then search 3 rock monsters from the deck to the hand, which equals level 8. So that's incredible. You get 3 cards and you get to choose. So let's say that you've done all of this. You have, normal summon, your Adamancipator, you have special summon from the deck, you have synchro summon, and you have now used Block Dragon and you have linked with him. Then you get to search Gigantes, that's 4. And then you get to search Researcher, and then you get to search Seeker. So with those 3 cards in your hand, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna summon Gigantes. Now you have a rock monster on your field, if you didn't already have one. Which is fully possible you might not, because not all of your synchros and links are rocks. Why? So then you summon this, and then, oh, now I have an Adamancipator on the field. I can now summon Seeker. I get 3 more monsters, which I can use to link summon or synchro summon with again. Not only that, you probably did not use the Adamancipator Seeker's effect. Since you search him, you didn't start with this in your hand, you search it by Block Dragon. So you get an additional monster. See how they're going? It's amazing. It's so good. Of course. And we have a few starters here as well. Extenders, should I say. So we have Parallel Exceed. We only play 2 of these because we don't want more. We don't want to... So there's an argument here that you could say, oh, you should run 3 because he's a really strong card in your opening hand. But for this deck, you have to look at the ratios. Because our Adamancipator monster looks at the rock types monsters, which they are excavating. So we don't want to dilute our deck with too many cards, which you cannot summon. So you always have to think like, there's a certain number of cards which must be rock monsters and can be special summoned for this deck to function. That's why we're only playing 2. 1 Nibiru, because this deck can search it, which is incredibly good. We have a few tuners here. Yet Synchron. We get to this one later once we get to the extra deck. 10 Spirit Adara. This special summon itself, if you have no monsters on the field. It's here. It's not a rock monster, although it looks like it. It's a worm. So you can't special summon it by Adamancipators, which is a little bit sad, but... Okay, then we have O-Lion. O-Lion is legal in Master Duels. And this is gonna get crazy, because this is gonna allow you to do so much. You're gonna have to decide which path you're gonna go when you're playing that game. I'm gonna explain to you, once we get to the gameplay part, what the paths are in this deck, so you can see it for yourself. But, let's get to the extra deck now. Of course, sorry about that. Of course we have Foolish Burial and 1-for-1. Just good cards. No. So here we have Herald of Arclight. Really easy to get out. O-Lion is sent to the grave, you get the token, level 3. You can synchro summon into this. This card says, any monster sent from the hand of main deck to the grave is banished instead. Really good, going first versus Drytrons versus any graveyard deck which want to get advantage by sending card from the hand to the grave that has cost, etc, etc. Really good. They have to get rid of this. Sometimes those decks, the only thing they can do is to summon a monster in attack position and attack over Herald of Arclight. Then they have to end their battle phase and then they have to go to main phase 2 and continue doing their combos. But at that point, guess what? They are not going to kill you, because they can't attack. Because they just attack to kill Herald of Arclight. This is a really important thing for the deck in the current meta. On top of that, when a spell trap or monster effect is activated, you can tribute this card, negate activation. So not only does it complete screws with your opponent, in some cases just stops them completely. It's also a negate. Really like this. Of course, it does stop you from using Maxi, for example, and so on. But honestly, it's so good. Then we have Natura Beast, Barkion. Natura Beast. Barkion is another card. We look at those cards later as well. We're gonna go through a little bit of a side deck after this too. But Natura Beast. When a spell card is activated, quick event, you can send the top 2 cards of the deck to the graveyard, negate activation. That's all you need to know. So we are fueling our graveyard for a block dragon. And we're negating effect. Remember, this is not once per turn, not once per chain. You can keep doing this. This shuts down so many decks if you can do it. Like Drytrons. I'm harping on Drytrons a lot, but there are lots of decks in this meta which uses spell cards. Just a really good card. And it's a little bit hard to get out, because in Earth tune one tune an Earth monster. Yes, but that's why we have 1-for-1, that's why we have 10 Spirit, you know. It's yeah, so you can get it out, no worries. And this Adamancipator Risen, Raptite. This is one of your synchro extenders. This so when this is summoned, do your main feature an excavate the top 5 cards of the deck, and if you do, you can special summon an excavate monster in defense position. So now you might be saying, oh, so it's just an Adamancipator card but in synchro form. And I mean, 2200 attack is not a great, 208 defense is okay. So what's the deal here? Why would I summon this? Because you see, there's a very important part which is different. This says, let's see if I can find it, non-tuner rock monster, and Raptite says one excavated rock monster. So this gets any rock monster which you're excavating. This means tuners. This means another Adamancipator. Means it doesn't mean block dragon, because it cannot be normal. It cannot be special summoned. It must be special summoned by its own effect. But you can also summon a Nibiru if you want to. It's just very versatile. That's why it's an extender. So let's say that you get an Adamancipator, which you haven't used the effect of. You can summon that, then use the Adamancipator's effect, and then you can get another try. Really good. Borrow Load Savage Dragon, a walking negate, high attack. What can I say? It's also dragon, which is gonna get into that as well, because there's a card here called Union Carrier. which is, well, amazing. Then we have Dragite. Dragite. Yes. We can excavate 5 cards here as well, but instead of special summoning, we are bouncing our opponent's card for each rock monster excavated. Yep. And if you have a water monster in your graveyard, which is typically going to be the crystal, it means that we can negate a spell or trap effect. Or effect. Oh, it's anything. Anyway, that's not gonna come up horribly much, because once you summon this and clear your opponent's board, you are probably gonna win the game. Then we also have Satellite Warrior. It's just here, because I needed an extender. So, sometimes what happens is, you have Block Dragon on the field, and then you need a way to get rid of it to synchro further when you can't link summon. There's also a card here that's going to explain it, and that's Aurora Dawn. So, that's me. So then you just want an easy synchro here. Then we have Granite, which is an Exceed monster, so you need 2 level 4 monster. Doesn't have to be rock though. So, you can detach from this monster, and then you can search 1 rock monster from deck to your hand. So this typically will search Block Dragon. So any trick is what you do is that you detach, search for Block Dragon, then you link this away. And now you have 3 rock monsters, because this is also rock, in your graveyard. So now you can special summon Block Dragon. Then we have Prankid's Meow Meow. And it's just a way to get rid of our Prankids. And then also link it away, so that we have more fodder for Block Dragon. That's really all it's about. There is a few combos if you can do if you want to go a little bit harder on the Prankids engine, but we're not doing this here. Then we have Crystal Hulky Fibrax. This card, man, this card is the nuts. Because Adamancipator, which got the monster, is a Crystal Hulky Fibrax. Incredible. Just incredible. You summon level 3 or lower tuner from your deck when you summon this. And then you can continue going on. See. IP Masquerina. It's a generic level 2, non-true, non-link monster, so you can't use a link monster, but for our cause it's generic. Any monster. And then during the opponent's turn we can link summon using her. And the link monster that uses discard meter can be destroyed by the opponent's card effect. So protection for a next monster. You remember that this card has material, not which was summoned by her effect. So, really good. Union Carrier. Okay, this is what you're gonna want to aim for. So, one of the goals of the deck, especially when going first, is to get out a Borrowed Savage Dragon. And then summon a Union Carrier. Because what does Union Carrier do? Let's look. Cannot use a link material and turn it is link summon. So this is important to remember that this is a brick. Once you summon this to your link zone, it's gonna stay there. You're not gonna get rid of it. You can't synchro summon with it, and you can't link with it. So, remember that. This is something you wanna do late in the chain. This is your end link. Unless you just wanna clear your board a little bit, you can summon this. But, generally speaking, that's what's gonna happen. You can target one face-up monster control. Equip one monster to it from your hand or deck with its same original type or attribute. So, it's a dragon. What are we going to equip it with? We're going to equip it with Dragon Buster Destruction, because it's also a dragon. So, while this card is equipped to monster, your opponent can special summon monster from the extra deck. So now you're locking your opponent out of using the extra deck. You have a negate because you have Borrowed Savage Dragon. You might have a Naturia Beast on the board, or you can have a Herald. Do you see how hard it is to break this lock for your opponent? It's really hard. On top of that, we might have an Apollosa, which is just monster negate. Once per chain, when your opponent activates monster effect, you can make his card lose exactly 8 on attack and negate that effect. Super good. You just so many ways. Of course, access code talker, a beat stick against attack depending on the link summon and the link rating of the link monster used to link summon this card. It's awesome. And then you can banish link monster from graveyard to destroy cards your opponent controls. Just a really good finisher. You don't really need him, but I have him, and he's just generally good. Then we have Underworld of the Goddess. This is a bit of a tech, because especially when you're climbing the ladder, you're gonna run into a lot of different decks. And some decks summons monsters which you cannot deal with. They are indestructible, untargetable, unaffected by the card effect, they are strong, they are big, we cannot beat them. Our monsters are not that beefy after all. Our strongest base monster is 3000 attack, and it can get up there if you get to do your thing. Maybe to 5050 is the upper limit, which can seem a lot, but it's really not that relevant to be honest, because it's just one monster. So, what does this card do? You can use one monster your opponent controls material to link summon this card, and it's a link 5, and 4+ effect monsters. Which means, if our opponent has a monster, we only need to have a link rating of 4 to summon this. So it can be a link 2, we have on the field and 2 monsters, plus your opponent. And this is the really nice part, if we have a Masquerade on the field, now we can do it on an opponent's turn, and we can link summon away their boss monsters. So that's why we have it. It's really good. It has an effect, you can make the effect of all face-up monsters your opponent controls, this link summon, etc. But really it's a glorified removal most of the time. It is good. Oh, but I didn't talk about Auroradon. Okay, so why do we have Auroradon in this deck? Let's say. Because you can look at this and think, doesn't really fit. Because we are playing O-Lion, this deck. And O-Lion when sent to the graveyard gets us a token. So what happens is, we have, as we established, we have Hulky Firebrax. It needs 2 monsters including tuner. Super easy. This is what a deck do. We get a monster tuner, Adamancipator, and the non-tuner on the field. Then we can special summon Crystal Hulky Firebrax, get an O-Lion, and then we can go into Auroradon. And here's where one of the breakpoints of this deck is. You have to make a decision here. Do I want to continue Link Summon or do I want to go into Synchron? Because it says, if this card is Link Summon, you can activate this effect. Special summon 3 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. Also you can Link Summon for the rest of this turn. But if you don't activate the effect, you can still Link Summon. So that's what you want to think about. And in one per turn you can tribute up to 3 monsters, then apply one of these effect based on a number. Destroy 1 card to special summon 1 Mecha Beast Phantom monster from your deck. Actually, sorry, I meant that we summon, of course, Jet Synchron with Hulky Firebrax. And then we summon Auroradon with O-Lion with Auroradon. Anyway, continue on. So you can then get O-Lion on the field and you can do a lot of things. And if you say, I'm just gonna synchro summon this turn, then you can do that. For example, you might not have gotten a lot of monsters on the field, you whiffed one of your Adamancipators, you whiffed, then you just summon this and then you get 3 Mecha Beast Phantom tokens on the field. And then you start synchroing instead. Remember, we can go into this, Natura Beast, we can go into Herald Arclight, we have Borrowed Savage Dragon as well, so there are so many options for us. Right. So, here are a bit tech cards. Oops, I don't know why this. Let's mark this one. So then we also have Natura Barkion. He's a little bit easier to summon on Natura Beast, but Barkion is just only really good against Eldritch. So, and you have to be proactive. You're probably gonna win if you go first against Eldritch anyway, because you can just negate what they have. Barkion is just a little bit better against more decks, but it's up to preference. If you, this deck can struggle a little bit against Eldritch, so especially since if you don't run trap and spell removal in your main deck, Barkion is a very viable substitute for that. Then we have Formula Synchron. You can summon this. Let's see here. It requires one tuner, one non-tuner, just getting a little bit. There's summon this one. Hold on. Good question. How did I summon this? I know I summoned this. You get tokens on the field, I suppose. Anyway, let's go. Satellite Warrior. More of a tech. Depends on how much synchro, so you can choose which direction you want to go, synchro and link. That's why this is a tech card. Then you have the whole Prank Kid engine. So the end board, once you use it, you get this card, Brankey's Battle Battler, and you can tribute it to destroy all cards your opponents control. If you have the Link monster on the field, you can, in the graveyard, you can banish it instead of sacrificing it, so you get 2 Omni Destructions your opponent's board. All good stuff. I feel that it takes up a little bit, too much space in the deck, and it makes your excavations a little bit unreliable, but it's powerful nonetheless. But that's more of a preference. Then we have Sekka's Light, if you want draw power. Draw 2 cards if you control no spell and trap cards in your graveyard. So if you have no spell or trap cards in your graveyard. So, just pot of greed, and then you can banish it from your grave to send 1 card from your hand to the deck, and then draw 1 card. So if you draw one of the Garnets, 1 card for example, you draw O-Lion, which you don't need, you just banish the Sekka's Light and you draw a new card. You can also play Denko Sekka, because you don't play a lot of spell cards, you only play 2 here. So yeah, you can have Link Spider if you feel that your Link climbing isn't good enough, you need to get rid of something, get rid of a token, and so on. Effect Veiler, you can do that as well, have the Celine engine in this deck, that's good too. Abyss Dweller, shutting down graveyards, good. You can also have Nightmare Unicorn. Instead of Underworld Goddess, use Ib, you pop something. All that good stuff. It's all about play preference at this point. But yeah. Now. And that is the Adamancipator decks. So let me just pop into Duel. And on the white side. And let's just showcase how the deck functions. I'm gonna show you 3 games. And I'm gonna go through my thought process when playing these games. So, he's deciding to go. I'm going first, nice. So, always look, as I always say, look at your opponent. Lots of information here. Platinum 2, look at the icon. What does it tell you? How much has he played? This is Platinum though, so you can expect people to, have a grasp of the game. Look at the extra deck card, if there's less than 15 and so on. Yeah, so this is a good example. Upper hand, so, oops. Hello. You're gonna summon Seeker. I'm gonna activate Seeker. Oh, there was no response here. That means we can do whatever we want. So we saw Doki Doki, we saw Kowakimeru. So we want a special summon monster. What about? We're gonna go for Doki Doki because he has no hand traps. It could also be a Nibiru. But this is better because Nibiru requires you to have summoned 5 times. We're gonna put this at the bottom of the deck. Now we're going to sack a card. I'm gonna sack this one. Kiss as a Nibiru, and we're gonna summon a Guardian here. And then we're gonna go for Risen, Reptite. We're gonna synchro this off. Oh, that was, yeah, okay, maybe. My bad, a little bit of a misplay there, but that's okay. Then we're gonna activate supplier. We're gonna summon attack mode. One important thing here is that we want to decide which side of the field we're gonna put our link monsters in. Thus we wanna have our link areas free so we can link summon a lot. This, use a Raptite. Really great. Now we're gonna get our researcher here, which is really cool. See how this starts coming together now. And we have one throwing in hand, so we can make a Naturia beast. We got nothing there, which is fine. Send Orion. Then we're gonna summon. Now this is important to start unclogging our board a little bit. Summon a Naturia beast. So now that's one card. We have shut down our opponent from using spell cards now. So now we're gonna go into Hulky Fibrax, sending our researcher and our Doki Doki to the graveyard. We're gonna use the left zone here because we have clogged up our right side of the field. And we're gonna use this. And monsters which are summoned by Hulky Fire are not negated, but they cannot use their effects, so that's really important to remember. So now we have a decision to do. We probably can't go into Union Carrier here. So we get out to go for link monsters. Synchro monsters, I mean. Which is fine. We have a Naturia beast on the field, and we have... This is completely fine war to end with. We're gonna sack 2 tokens. To get an O-Lion. So I could also have sacked off. I could also sacrifice Mecha Phantom Beast to get more link, a better link in the graveyard for a Boral Dragon, which is gonna equip a link monster from our graveyard to him. Let's go! This is really nice. We could save our Maxi here, but we're gonna end our turn. Let's see what he got. So what do we have? Banish, Spell Negate, Omni Negate. So we are pretty set. Now this might be, saying it's a little bit of an overextend, which it is. But at the same time, we're putting in his court to break this board. So let's see what he has. What he has. Thinking. But yeah, so what could he need? He would need a Raigeki break maybe? No, Raigeki I mean. I could negate that of course, so that doesn't left. A Kaiju, of course, would be really good here for him to sacrifice our monsters. He could also go into Underworld Goddess, but that requires him to get a lot of monsters on the field. And quite frankly, we're not gonna let him. Sure. Thinking. Ah, he surrendered. That could happen. Okay, let's play one more and see. 2 more games left. So let's see if we get a game on. But yeah, that board we got was really hard for some decks to out. He would need very specific counters. We're going first, of course. We want to establish our board. Let's see what we start with. Oh, we start Max C, a Seeker, and some good stuff here. These are pretty irrelevant, but... do I get summoned? Yes, I do. Shall see if he has a response. Oh, he has. Ash Blossom, I think, should be. Yes. Yes, sir. That is fine. We might lose next turn, but that's what happens. And we got a Max C, so we can refill our hand too. So he's summoning. Oh, a shiny card. Fire Information Tanky, which means he's playing Tri-Brigade. Which means we need to Max C here. The thing is, yeah, he has used one Ash Blossom before. He could have another one in hand, but if he does, he does have it. So, and then he used 2 Ash Blossom. So, you know, it is what it is, if that's the case. Tri-Brigade also isn't really that much of an OTK deck, so we don't really have to worry about it. So they can set up a ward with Zeus and, you know, the trap card, but they don't really go for, you know, like an 9,200 damage board. Or 8,000 damage if he banishes my card here. He doesn't. Is that just 2? Oh, and they drew a block dragon, see? So. And he's under Max C, so if he starts, you know, climbing and special summoning a lot, we get to draw a lot of cards. So this is completely fine. Tri-Brigade isn't a deck which, you know, surprises you. Ooh, this is really good. So we have an extender, and we have an analyzer. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna special summon analyzer. This card. Once per turn, but a quick effect. You can send 1 card from your hand to field, then target 1. Turn instead. Which is fine. we're just gonna have so much advantage because we haven't normal summoned yet. We're just gonna bait him with tons of cards here. Yeah, we're just filling up our grave here. Grave, he can bounce. We're just gonna get him to use his, you know, resources. And now he's gonna bounce, which is fine. Gonna bounce or get Mew. And we're gonna banish one from. So I could go into Hulky Fibrax there, but I feel like I don't need it right now. He can bounce these two. Oh, get another. Rockmons from a deck to grave, from our deck to our hand. So we're just filling up for block dragon here, really. Can't you do this more than once per turn though? Oh, it's just once per turn, okay. We have Seeker in the hand, so we're gonna summon our Researcher. There he quit. Yeah, he did not manage his bounces there at all. That's why. The thing is that I special summon. Okay, let's think about that game. I want you to remember this. We're playing against Adamancipators, and they're going second. If I'm using my analyzer and special summon it, once you have bounce on your side of the field, do not bounce the analyzer. I am baiting you. I have something else, especially since it's my first and I have lots of cards in my hand. Unless you think that, oh, it's a desperation play. But the cost is you lose the game, as you can see. What you want to do is that you want to bounce my Synchro Raptide. Because bouncing the Researcher doesn't do anything. Because I can just resummon it as my normal summon. So that's why you wait. You can say, oh, you should, you know, wait, and you make me use my normal summon. Yeah, but I can go off anyway there, you don't stop me. That's the point. Okay, this hand is a little bit rougher. So, we got 2 Garnets. Oh, so we misplayed there, so I should have summoned this and then I should have summoned Seeker with the sound effect. So that's my bad. That's totally my bad. But so let's think. There's also there's just one Adamancipator here, right? That means that so I think 3 out of my 9 Adamancipators, which means if I summon, so I could go into, you know, Hulky Fibrax here, but there's a good chance I'm going to see another Adamancipator in my talk here if I excavate again. Remember, no response to my effects, so I have free reign to do whatever I want right now. I want you to think about this. So I didn't summon my researcher, which was a big misplay. If I had that, I would have a tuner on my silo field, and you know what? That's completely my fault. Banish. Rank it. And we drew into Nibiru, so now we have a little bit of protection in case they go off on us. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna why no, we summon Union Carrier, because what we can do with this, I think. No. Maybe not, no, so not rook. It is a little bit crusty, but you know, I misplayed there, so let's just thinner deck a little bit here. But yeah, let's see what opponent can do. So, let's see. Oh, Sky Structure Ace. So let's see, let's count the summons here. 1. So first Ray, then green one, then red one, then blue one. So that's just 4 summons. Strike 4. So Sky Strikers can be a bit rough. Descent engage, so the center tutor. There. Search card. They don't have any other spell cards in the grave though, so she gonna go. So Kagari, the red one, clothes change, get to engage. I showed her what I played. So she should go into the Widow Anchor. It's protection. They're searching multi-roll, which means they have a Widow Anchor on their hand. Oh, an Afterburner. Destroying my card. Interesting. So what's the plan here? Our plan is we want the Naturia Beast. How can we do that? This is gonna be... oh no. Oh, she has... that's a really nice card. Oh, I want this in Rainbow Rare. That's a beautiful card. Do I get to look at it? Look at that. Look at the nice foil. What did they search? Oh, they search a token? Okay. we have 3 rocks. So let's activate this and special summon this card. Just bait. Yes, we do anchor there, definitely. Let's see, what could they also? They could also have their own protection spell. So that. Question is, what do you want to go into? Are we forcing here? We might be forcing though. Let's force a negate. The reason is why I'm doing this is because I won't have a clean cut to block dragon. Yeah, she doesn't have 3 spells in graveyard right now, but I could change very quickly. Remember, just because they don't have it now doesn't mean they can't get it. So if he's gonna activate two quick play spells, and then use anchor on our monster, is gonna take it. He's gonna take a block dragon, and that might spell the game for us. So we're gonna force it out of him. We're gonna force the Widow Anchor. No? What? Let's just force. So this is an idea, like, he's gonna be forced to rare. He can negate 1 attack. It's because Kaina makes it so that when you can sacrifice Sky Striker Ace to special summon another Link Sky Striker monster. Yes, we are. We are doing this. So we're gonna synchro here into a satellite warrior. Now we might say, don't go for Ray, because she's gonna tag. But we want to force the tag, that's the thing. Oh, actually, oh yeah, I have 2 synchros in my grade, don't I? Yeah, because I used it. So he's gonna tag. So this is the last tag he gets, because he already used now all effects of Ray. Which... Oh, what? Okay, so he wants... So why is doing it? You want to send another card? And now we have free reign to do the Foolish Burial for a block dragon. And then we're gonna special summon. We're gonna special summon or block dragon. It's gonna be great. We'll go for an Ib. IP IP screen on. Get this. And now, do you remember what I talked to you about earlier? About Block Dragon? And why it's so good? Because we can special summon. Now we can activate Searcher, summon her. And now we can summon another Seeker. And we're gonna use part 2. See what we get. Great. And the Sky Strikers are always relying on their spell cards. So now we're gonna go into Hulky Fibrax, and we're gonna get a tuner. And we're gonna get Earth Tuner. And we're gonna summon Naturia Beast. This was our game plan. See, all of this for Naturia Beast. But we had to eat our vegetables. We had to remove his back row. We had to make sure that we weren't gonna get nibbered. We had to make sure that this was free. This one. Now I'm gonna link away. Materials. Oh, disconnecting, are we? But yes, you see the steps here. And there we go. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Well played by us. Bit a slight misplay in one of the games. But hey, don't beat yourself up about it. Those things happens. Everyone makes mistakes. So, let's go to a dex. Wonderful. Beautiful. So, Adamancipators, this deck is really, really strong. And it's a deck that's worth learning. It has so many options, you can build it in with so many different ways. With your X-Ray, you can go prank kids. What I didn't show you was that you can even go build a fossil fusion version, because they are, you know, rocks on Earth. You can do all of this stuff. There's so much you can do. Block Dragon facilitates all of this. But it's a hard deck to learn. There are so many small things you need to think about when you're playing the deck. How are you going to do it? What opponents are doing? What's your end board going to be like? Which level managements of your tokens? It's a really fun deck, and I highly recommend it. If you want to climb, play this deck. It's very rewarding to do so. and I see you in the next video. Bye!